Uh-oh.
Why, oh why do I procrastinate? Well, here's a perfect example. Jars. I'm procrastinating putting these away because I don't know what to do with them. Here I have a box of more jars. So, procrastination is something that I want to talk about with you today. And I've come up with a couple of ideas that work for me, and hopefully they'll work for you too.
Well, behind me you see my latest procrastination project. So I've been purging, yay me, um, and this is what some of the jars I pulled out of my kitchen. Now some of these jars, like the wide mouth ones with the plastic lids, I keep actually in my refrigerator produce drawers even when they're empty. But right now, since I ordered the imperfect foods, the two boxes that came, I don't have room for my jars in there. With the jars, sometimes I like to prep with those, and then I keep the prepped food in the jars in the fridge. But right now, I just have all my produce in there in my green bags, so I just have my jars right here. So, but first, coffee, because we have to have coffee and it's morning. So, let's have a coffee chat. And I like to sit and ponder a lot, or sometimes I like to walk and ponder. And I like to evaluate things that are going on in life. And I like to think. I just do. And sometimes too much thinking can be a cause of procrastination. But I came up with a list, and I'm going to give you the list first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about each item on the list. So let me get started. So these are the things that cause me to procrastinate. You may have totally different uh, triggers that cause you to procrastinate, and it's something that you have to sit and really think about because a lot of us have this issue, and but you have to get to the root of why you're doing it, and each case might be a little different. So the first thing I came up with is something is not working. You procrastinate because something is not working. The second reason I came up with is that I don't have enough knowledge or information to do it. So that's number two. Number three is reinventing the wheel. By that, I mean you don't have a system in place. So every time you have to do something again, you procrastinate because the last time you didn't implement a system that worked for you. Fear of imperfection. And I talked about this in one of my other videos. Um, and maybe you were raised by someone who was a perfectionist, and you got the feeling that whatever you did wasn't perfect enough, and you might have been raised by a person that was a little bit hard to please. Not that they're bad people, but you know, it's just their personality. And we all know there's no such thing as perfection. The only thing that's perfect is God. And, you know, if we want to step up to those standards, we're never going to get there. So that's another reason. Too much planning to make it perfect. So instead of actually doing something and taking the steps to do it, you're planning. But I'll get a little bit more into that in a little while. Low energy. If you're a person that is having problems, physical problems or mental problems, or whatever your reason is, you have low energy. Oh, and here's my buddy back again. He wants some hugs and kisses. don't you? Yes, you do. I'm talking to the ladies. Yes, right out there, those ladies. hmm Um, Not enough space for the volume that you have. So I'll talk a little bit about that too. Um, Fear of criticism and judgment. And there's only a couple more. Uh, Fear of making a mistake. So those are the things I came up with. I'm sure there's a ton more things. And as I'm talking, I may come up. Are you snoring? You're making lots of noise. I may come up with a few more things. So first of all, let me talk about something isn't working. So you have an issue that you're trying to resolve, like too many jars. And, I see each jar as, oh, I can store some food in there, or I can use it for my painting, or I can use it for my beads, or whatever. And that's just not working for the volume of jars that I have. So it would be better to just purge what I don't need, keep a few jars on a shelf where I have the room for them, and get rid of the rest. So taking the steps to downsize my jars would be the first thing. Okay, I don't have enough knowledge or information. So let's say that you have a project that you want to do. Let's say you want to do a painting, okay? And it's something you've always wanted to do, but you keep procrastinating and putting it off. For me, it's an actual thing that I do procrastinate about, and I know why I procrastinate about it. Um, I've watched a lot of artists, uh, Bob Ross, Alan Kingwell, Kevin Hill are just a few of them. Jerry Yarnell. I have a ton of videos. I watch them online. There's a lot more artists that I watch, and each one of them has different techniques. Johannes Vloothuis, he's a Canadian painter, and I really love his painting because he almost has a watercolor quality to his oils. But I digress. Anyway, I have all this knowledge of all these different artists and painters, and I procrastinate painting because I fuss. I fuss too much. I want to get all the details perfect rather than just relaxing and letting the Zen flow through me, through my brush. I block it by fussing. And this is what I mean about the fear of imperfection. I'm so worried that the painting isn't going to be perfect that I don't even start. I just know I'm just not going there. And I'm only harming myself by doing that. And then it's always in the back of my mind. I want to paint. I want to paint. And it's just not happening. So fear of imperfection is a big one. And I have the knowledge in here now. I did my research. I've done numerous paintings, but each and every painting has this block for me that I'm afraid the painting isn't going to be perfect. And that leads me to fear of criticism and judgment. I don't want to be judged on, oh, this is wrong with the painting, this color is off, or, whatever. But most of the time, it's unfounded fear of perfection because nobody picks my paintings apart like I do. Really, nobody does. If I've done a painting, people have always said they liked it and that I did a really nice job on it, and they don't pick it apart like I do. So that's one of the reasons why, actually, several reasons why I procrastinate. Um, Low energy, I want to talk a little bit about that. For those of us that have physical or mental issues, if you have a lot of anxiety or you have um, low energy because you have a medical condition and you can't, set the world on fire with getting everything done in 10 minutes flat, we have to break things down into smaller steps, which takes a while. So just the fear of the time that it's going to take to get whatever project is in your head completed can be a cause of procrastination. Um, what didn't we talk about? Oh, not enough space for the volume that you have. Okay, so um, this house, and this is part of the book that I've been reading, Decluttering at the Speed of Life. This house is a container, okay? And in this container, I have stuff. So I don't want to go out and buy a bigger house. I don't need a bigger house. This house is plenty big, but I have to downsize and purge things that my container can't hold. So it's a process that needs to happen before I can put my jars away. I have to make a space for them. I have to have that space be able to hold the number of jars that I want to keep. The rest I have to get rid of. And yeah, it can be a tough project, but that's one thing that causes me to procrastinate and not do something with my jars. I don't know where to put them. I don't have the space. So even if every day I get rid of 3 jars and leave the rest until I have enough where I can put them on a shelf neatly and I can go right to them when I need a jar for whatever reason, and Bob's your uncle. Um, Too much planning to make it perfect. I am a great planner. I love to plan things, parties, or putting jars away, or painting, or, I have all these things going around in my head. And sometimes you get so busy planning that you never get to the step where you're actually doing. So, and there again, planning leads, or not leads, stems from perfection. You want to plan it so that when it's complete, it's perfect. So you don't do it at all. So that's one of the things that keeps me from doing what it is I need to do. So sometimes I have to sit down with myself and just figure out, now, why are these jars still sitting here? And when I get to the root of it, then I can take steps to get rid of the jars or keep the jars that I want to keep. Another example of that is laundry. I'll have an overflowing laundry basket with dirty laundry. And I just do laundry for me, so I have absolutely no excuse why this laundry basket is sitting there needing to be washed. It's not that I hate to wash clothes. I don't hate that. You stick them in the machine, you put them in the dryer. The part that keeps me stuck with the laundry is the thought, and I even have it in my head now, I can't put it in the drawer the way I want it because I have too much stuff. So this is why I'm purging clothes so that I can neatly put my underwear and bras and sweaters or whatever it is in the drawers and hang my things where they need to go. But I don't need a bigger walk-in closet. I have closets galore filled with my stuff, but that's one of the reasons why I don't like to do laundry. It's because it's hard to put away. So there you have it. That's the root problem. So then I need to do something else that makes the process more pleasant so that I will do it. What else? We talked about all that. Something isn't working, okay? It's the whole definition of insanity. If you keep doing what you do, you keep getting what you got. So, again, with the laundry, if I don't purge some of my laundry, I'm going to keep not wanting to do laundry and it's going to sit in my basket. So, that's an example of that and the root cause of it. This is the last one, fear of making a mistake. And I touched a little bit on that with my painting example. I'm afraid I'm going to make a mistake. And rather than telling myself, it's paint, Ellen, all you have to do is cover it up and repaint it. But it sort of all ties together. You're afraid of making a mistake. You're afraid it's not going to be perfect when it's done. You're afraid somebody's going to criticize and judge you. The only person that you need to please on this planet, basically, is yourself. And I know that sounds a little bit selfish. You have to take other people into consideration, okay? But if you're the kind of person that's always a people pleaser, that puts everybody else's opinions above your own because you don't think that you're smart enough, you're pretty enough, you're talented enough. So you take the criticism and judgment of other people above what you feel is your comfort level. And that's not a fun way to live. So it's not meant to sound selfish because I have children. I love my children. I have a significant other that I love. And I do take their opinions into consideration. But the bottom line is, I live in my skin, I live in my space, and I'm the one that I have to please in the end. So anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I wanted to give you a little bit of Zen at the beginning because that's important too. You know, always having projects, you need to have a break, take a break, no problem. So anyway, I just wanted to share that and what works for me. And it's a work in progress. Life is a work in progress. You're never going to get it perfect. The best you can hope for is that you're happy, you're content, you're at peace with yourself and the world. All right, my friends, I wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.